I hope your week is off to a good start because here in the US, it's anything but. That's right, folks. A government shutdown is right around the corner. Welcome back to the channel. Tune in or ghost out. Unless a last-minute deal is struck, the federal government will shut down this Wednesday, October 1st. And you heard that right. They will shut down the government again. Something about government shutdowns and the Trump presidency are very synonymous. And this isn't me hating or anything. There has literally been 3 shutdowns during Trump presidencies. There's only been 10 recorded throughout American history. And yes, while we've had financial funding gaps, complete shutdowns like we see in today's era did not really start until the 80s. But here's the twist. If this shutdown hits, it could delay the release of the September jobs report, and you all know how much I love breaking down those numbers. Real quick, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. 93% of you watching aren't subscribed, and that's insane. It's free and it means way more to me than you know. Now look, even if the job report doesn't drop on time, it wouldn't change the reality most of us are already living in. Layoffs are ramping up, stores are closing left and right, and the so-called jobs that are claimed to be all around us are smoke and mirrors. Just this past month, Starbucks closed 500 locations across the US and laid off nearly 1,000 employees. And they're not alone. Companies from Amazon to UPS to CVS are trimming the fat. To make this even worse, Trump has promised to fire thousands of federal employees if this shutdown takes place. While I'm not opposed to the de-bloating of government, federal workers being fired in this economy doesn't make sense. It doesn't save us much money and just makes our numbers look that much worse. According to recent data, the US has seen over 500,000 layoffs across major industries this year alone. Tech, retail, logistics, healthcare, you name it, and they're sending people home unpaid. But the headlines will keep telling you, don't worry, everything's fine. Meanwhile, credit card debt just hit a record high, savings are at an all-time low, and the people are working 2 to 3 jobs just to stay afloat. Something a lot of people need to get used to is the idea of a 70-hour work week. The worst part about the American dream dying is that it makes countries like China look like the shining child of glory, and all the practices that we used to think were inhumane are going to be our new reality. So why does this matter to you? Because the worse our economy looks on paper, the more justified the Federal Reserve feels to slash interest rates and start the money printer back up. It's a playbook we've seen before. If Congress does manage to strike a deal and avoid a shutdown, best believe the next item on the agenda will be to push rates lower. But with how divided both sides are right now, that deal looks highly unlikely. Well, that's not necessarily true. Democrats don't really gain anything by shutting down the government. The leverage is just not in their court. While people don't have the highest approval rates of Donald Trump at the moment, they have even lower rates of the Democratic Party. And this shutdown would probably just intensify that. As of now, markets are pricing in a 0.4% rate cut by December. But if this job report is delayed, or worse, if it shows serious weakness in our economy, we could be looking at a deeper cut closer to 0.5%. And in my honest opinion, that would be a clear signal that we're heading straight into a recession spiral. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Rate cuts aren't a solution. They're a band-aid at best and a train wreck at worst. They weaken your buying power, inflate asset prices, and make it easier for corporations and the elite to gobble up even more while you're stuck paying $8 for eggs. Slashing interest rates isn't going to make me buy a $500,000 starter home or a $30,000 Toyota Camry. All it does is fuel stagflation where the prices stay high and the growth stays flat, aka the death blow to the average consumer. It's no surprise that our current government is going with this option. You have to remember we're dealing with a Congress that has now officially been labeled the least productive in modern US history. So while they bicker over culture wars and sound bites, the working class is getting squeezed out of existence. What we're watching isn't just mismanagement, it's economic sabotage. It's funny, since the turn of the decade, everyone has been quoting the line, "You'll own nothing and be happy." But at this rate, that's exactly where we're headed. A subscription for everything, no ownership at all, and a life fully financed and fully surveilled. Our homes will be rented, our cars will be leased, our lives will be bought in monthly payments. And the vacations you're waiting for, they'll probably be in VR. So now that I've laid out the tough landscape we're facing in the future, what can you actually do to prepare for what's to come? My number one piece of advice, and the thing I've been trying to practice the most in these past few months, don't hold too much fiat. If you haven't already diversified your holdings, you're running out of time. Get some gold gold, get some Bitcoin, get some silver. Hell, if you can get some land, put your name on it. Whatever lowers the control the dollar has over your life. Because when the house of cards falls, and it will fall, those holding nothing but cash will be holding dust. We have officially left the era of delusional gains, and we have officially stepped into the cold winter they've been telling us about. While this shutdown may not be the most pivotal moment in economic times in recent memory, the fact that we're going into a shutdown just shows how deep our problems run. The people in control of the car that we're all sitting in are playing a game of chicken where they don't have to face the ramifications of the time they're wasting. The more the people in control waste time, the more youth we lose to the system. People are losing hope at an alarming rate, and the only thing that will change their mindset is having good futures. And the only way to build good futures is having an economic foundation worth standing on. But just like a teenager who just got access to the family Amex card, we are addicted to credit. We are addicted to abundance, and we are fearful of living within our means. Our country spends $2 trillion more than it makes. The longer we play this game of funding a government that cannot sustain itself, the longer we live on borrowed time. We can't really do anything to change it. We can say what we think, we can make our voices be heard, but the people in power will do everything they can to keep spending more than we have. So instead, I urge you to prepare. I know it's a lot to take in, and I hate to be the one to put a damper on your Monday, but we've got to be real about where this is headed. If you agree or disagree or have your own thoughts, drop a comment down below. I read all of them. Am I being too harsh or not going hard enough on what's really happening? Either way, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this, because what's coming around the corner isn't just policy, it's a complete paradigm shift. But with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Transmission complete. Signal terminating. This is Ghost Thread, signing off.